As a guitar player, I'm used to having delay effects that have maybe 1 to 2 second delay times at most. Since I've started making generative music using my synth, I've learned to appreciate even longer delay times. The Kaseta by Zlo Instruments, for instance, has a maximum delay time of 5 minutes. It's based on the Daisy Patch submodule, which I'm a big fan of. It's a reel-to-reel tape delay simulation. There's a preamp section that lets you control the level of the input. The drive and bias knobs will let you add saturation to the output, which means you can use this module as a distortion. The wet-dry knob will let you mix in a clean signal to your distorted sound. There's a wow and flutter knob, which will let you add either a vibrato or a tremolo effect. It has 4 sliders that control each playback head. These 4 slide paths will let you control when each repeat happens. You can control the volume of each one. You can also send each repeat back into the input using the feedback knob. On the last column, you have a pan knob which will let you pan each repeat left and right. There's a speed knob that will basically let you control the maximum repeat time. There's also a tone knob that can be set to high pass or low pass and can also be configured to either affect the input or the outputs. It's a stereo module which I really appreciate. However, it only takes in one mono input. There are 4 CV inputs that can be configured to any of the other controls. You just have to plug in a cable and then wiggle the control that you want to affect. There's also an impulse trigger output that is controlled by the position of each of these playback heads. I use it a lot for generative washes, where I can build up layers of sounds as a patch progresses. I pair it with a really sparsely triggered oscillator voice. With shorter delay times, I can use it as a regular delay, with a bonus of having pan controls. Zlo Instruments has released this module as open source, which is really amazing considering how deep and feature-filled this module is. Zlo Instruments sent me this as a kit with all the SMD components pre-populated, so I only had to solder on the through-hole parts such as the potentiometers and the sockets. Like most DIY modules, it was a bit tricky to line things up with the front panel, but it was not that bad. You should check them out. Just like me, he also started synth making during the pandemic, so I'm really happy to see him release open source products such as this one. If you'd like to support what I do, please consider donating through Ko-fi. As always, here's a jam I made using the module. Thank you very much for watching and I hope to see you again in the next video.